on Team Eager to be chipped down, or making sure that everybody in Team Eager is chipped down. Kanga Esports holding strong. 10 seconds left to go.
Yeah, I know the feel that Jules is having right now. He's getting hit by this blinking Eevee. He's getting hit from distance from Shaolin. You can see him like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Let me just find a corner to hard scope, please. And that's exactly what he's doing now as he backs up even further. Really good positioning right next to the healing totem. Overtime is in effect as Eevee's able to do exactly what she's doing, which is harass and also bounce back and forth from that payload.
Oh no, Diggy Dog though takes down Stolzy, and as Diggy looks for another, finds a double kill onto Arai. It's 2 versus 2 on the objective. Shady Shades answers back, but let's look at respawn proximity here as Kanga Esports, although they've only got the Merkoa alive, are so much closer to the payload, and Torvald is so very low. No support. The protection bubble's keeping them alive for the time being. Hade's not falling. Alas to Eevee there, but Barrage comes out as well. Kanga Esports defends successfully. It's 1-1 on the scoreboard, but at 5 minutes, this game is a much slower pace to the previous 2.
That was a very expensive defense right there, using the Barrage. That's not one that you normally want to spend at that point in time in the overtime. Jules felt necessary to use it. It does get them the defense, but it may not have been fully worth it, and not having it on point is going to be really big, especially simply because of the fact that Torvald's going to be able to move up that much more for free now.
And Torvald will be, well, they'll be losing their shield a little bit faster at this point. Rekka online for Jules, but again, it's only Rekka 1, so still relatively tanky there. It feels like we're seeing the salvo utilized on Torvald more than anything to chip down the shields. Team Eager, on the other hand, they're getting all their offensive itemization online. An extra 300 credits in their pockets is paying dividends here, so Baidi already able to chew through Makoa's shield very quickly. And look at that as well. Cauterize on Stolzy on Bomb King. Unusual, but effective.
Yeah, unusual but effective is absolutely the word that I would use as well. And Dreadserpent coming on the back line. Speaking of effective, that matchup with the Poppy Bomb to get in. Stolzy looking for damage, but not able to find any kills. He's trying to get the shots onto the Drogos, but again, has to Poppy Bomb his way out. Another key protective bubble, and Shady Shades is the one in the back line. You can still see her shadow through the walls, cleaning up 2, and still being a distracting force. Bitey able to find himself another 2, so almost a full team wipe for Eager as they once again are above 50% of the capture percentage.
So talk to me about Stolzy's holding of King Bomb right there. It looked like there were 2 groups of enemies. He could have one-shot the both of them, but chose just to go with in-hand sticky bombs and not get the one-shot off there. Is there a particular reason he might have been holding that back?
I think a lot of it is the simple fact that we have control of the point. We're getting aggressive. I don't need to use it. If we need to retake, I'll have it available. Wi-Fi getting 3. I have to imagine the back end of a Hyper Beam. We didn't get to catch that one on camera, but still, that's really big. It's going to create a lot of space, not only for the payload to move, but also for Eager to get full forced and still have presence on the opposite side of the map.
Well, what's really key to me is it's going to allow Torvald to take aggressive positioning, which otherwise they wouldn't be able to, just due to that slow movement speed. And you can see Wi-Fi pushed very far up here. It's in a lot of trouble, gets 1 protection off just before going down. Will eventually fall to Josh Kent, which is expected there. Very immobile, especially slowed down by the shock pulses, but still the payload has met halfway and is only now meeting resistance by Kanga Esports. It's a good look for Team Eager. They can run for conversion again here. Kanga Esports, more of the same. They've got to hold defensively.
Yeah, and this is a really good spot for Dig a Dog. You can see him kind of just toggling, using that spacebar to get the elevation, jump up, get a fire spit, get a salvo, get some direct shots in, and just put a lot of firepower down into where Eager should be coming from. That's a lot of ways to get those initial kills, but still, Stolzy able to get the background again with Shady Shades, who's playing this Eevee absolutely out of her mind. 3K right there for Shady Shades, looking for more as they chase down the support. He does find Jules, so this Eevee coming online, Vox.
And this is the Eevee of old, the wormhole. I'm going to get in, do a couple of punches, get out again, but when you've got a plus 40% damage buff coming through to you from Torvald, it's so much to deal with. Oh no, as well, Diggy Dog's Dragon Punch. Ice Block denies 1, the shot from Barney denies another, and the direct hits coming in from Shady Shades are just too much to deal with. Barrage has been used by Vector as well, very low on health. It's going to be Joel's going down, savages Shady Shades, and even though that was traded out, it lets Team Eager push through. 3-1 on the objective. They're back in this set.
This is absolutely mind-blowing to see Eevee do so well, and I think this is just a simple cause of this is the perfect situation to take Eevee. You're in a position where you can get on top of everybody for essentially free. We're even seeing her blink above the Drogos and shoot directly down on top of them. It's this really good awareness and knowledge from Shady Shades, but on top of that, having Stolzy playing Bomb King and Bitey playing Shaolin, I don't think either of us would have guessed that by the early draft, but it's working out well. Bitey's doing a really good job playing Shaolin.
Certainly isn't that. Mid-air Dragon Punch shut down everything you ever want for your Shaolin to keep your front line alive. Allows Wi-Fi to just keep on doing Wi-Fi things, sitting now at 84% charged on Hyper Beam. Could be big in this last fight. King Bomb again available. Ice Storm and Dread Serpent. Lots of setup potential for Team Eager. And not much to keep Kanga Esports alive. Only going to be the Tempest and the Illusory Rift online. And the poke comes out immediately onto Grok. Look how low that Grok is at the back of the fight.
Ooh, the King Bomb is taken away as Diggy was able to find the killing blow just before the channel came up. We have to take a look after the Death Tower if he still has it available. I don't know if he got any distance covered. Shaolin looking to close off, but again, not able to find the full kills, and it did go off, so no Bomb King here, and Dread Serpent to come out, a double kill for Bitey on top of that combination. Great play.
And that's huge. Straight to the backline again is Eevee looking for the shots. Into Heat Hazes Bitey, the faster charge speed. Stolzy gets shut down for a second time, this time by Josh Kent, but will it be enough? Bitey still finding the damage with 300 health left. Is still staying alive, though may fall. Oh my goodness, the reactive withdrawal is so good, but eventually will go down, but it's bought Eager 50% on the capture. Kanga, though, on the retake, and now they hold the advantage.
And the real estate line is getting pushed red for once this time as they get right into the face, and this is where Victor does very well. Aggressively, they can jump right up, find the dismounts, find the constant suppression and fire coming out from the carbine from Victor, and at 97%. The Hyper Beam comes out, will find kills. He finds 2, so a big opportunity, and jumping right back onto point is Eager, and they're able to retake with a full team wipe.
That is huge. That is overtime ticking down. Team Eager, 99% against them. They come back into it, and now 72 and rising. All they have to do is zone with an Eevee and a Bomb King to their name. That's going to be easy for them. Drogos with Worm Jets is going to try and close the gap. They might just get there. Salvo comes down, but no, the Ice Storm on the objective. It's going to set up the kill onto Makoa. And this is looking good. Overtime still ticking, but it's all blue on the scoreboard. And with that, that's all she wrote. Team Eager take a 4-1 victory, pull themselves back in. They're down, but they're certainly not out.
My goodness, Wi-Fi showed up to play this weekend. Holy smokes, clutch Hyper Beam coming out to get his team right back in. And the follow-up, Eager is just on a whole nother level than when they played at HRX. And this familiarity with these players has really elevated their gameplay. They came out, and a lot of people at HRX were like, oh, they're going to be able to take the second place in their group. Kanga came out and surprised everybody as they were Abyss. Now Eager showing some fight and some resilience here. And
that's exactly what they needed to be able to do. The Torvald pocket pick almost at this point did come through, and that is going to be so important in future maps. Kanga are aware of it now. Maybe they'll itemize into heavier Wrecker, but you just can't deny the Hyper Beam in clutch situations like that. It means so much. And Kanga, well, they found a few important kills there. They didn't really seem to be practiced against dealing against a flanker comp involving an Eevee like that.
Nobody is, I don't think, right now. We just have not seen Eevee be played in the competitive meta in months, it feels like. We see it here and there, but again, this was the picture-perfect moment for Eager to use Eevee, to be completely honest. And Shady Shades executed at a very high level, but on top of that, Bitey, who is the jack of all trades, master of most, finds himself at 87,000 damage playing Shaolin, 17-9, not the biggest elimination total, but still found the kills that mattered.
And the kills that mattered, like shutting down Dragon Punch midair, like finding a clutch double kill on the final objective, are the ones which turn the game around. And you can see him there, just very calm still, very almost relaxed in this situation, just talking with his team, understanding what they need to do next and understanding how they're going to approach the future drafts coming through. Because whilst that pocket pick of Torvald and the Eevee might have worked so far, I wonder if, Kanga, they're going to be able to react to it now, and they're going to be able to pull out something to counter it if they see it again.
Yeah, it's really tough in that instance because you can't just go ahead and build your draft figuring you're going to see Eevee again. That's such a weird pick.
Yeah,
it's really niche. And Joel's, again, he's very well rehearsed playing Victor. I think we all would have expected a little bit more out of that, but again, he was harassed all game, only finds himself at 70,000 damage, finds himself also at 19 kills, but still, the big thing was Eevee was in his face almost all of the game, and it kept Joel's looking around for her rather than focusing on a direct line of sight.
It's the same kind of principle as what you need to do with Kinessa if you're facing them, right? You don't need to kill the Kinessa, you just need to stop them from shooting. Then it's a 4v4, and if your team is relying on Kinessa as a primary damage output, or Victor as a primary damage output, you're just going to win the fight based off the amount of power which you can bring to a team comp. Shady Shades, though, on Eevee. Let's look at the man, the myth, the legend. It's going to be 22-3. Only 3 deaths that last game and 91,000 damage. Torvald's safety kept them alive as well as their Blink wormhole play. And
yeah,
they just ran away with it.
Without a doubt. I mean, those protective shields were absolutely clutch in the face of Ice Block. You just sit there as Torvald and hit the Q until you finally get it, and it got Shady Shades out of a lot of sticky situations. And speaking of the Winter Witch, we're going to find our our second and final map in the Glacier Keep set if we're going to be going to Ice Mines.
Ooh, that's a tricky one. You can see it revealed in game right here. We've got some lovely cinematics coming through. The tight, close-knit point fight, the big, long payload push, and at last that base defense. A very open area past the initial choke point with only a few ways to break on through. And it's not a map that we see very often in competitive play. This is the wildcard map if we talk about it in any way. It's the one which often goes 3-3 due to the long payload push, and it can often be decided by maybe one final mistake on the point fight by either team.
This is a really strong pick. This is Kanga's map choice since they lost the last. Eager banned Ice Mines in every competitive qualifying match. And Kanga has been sitting here and says, if no one wants to play Ice Mines, we'll play it. We'll figure a way to do it. And
they'll let it.
Yeah, and they're going to have first pick here as well, which is, again, going to go to Bomb King.
Well, especially on this kind of map with a tightly close-knit point fight, Bomb King is going to be great here. If he takes Master Riding as well, can set up a lot of area damage on Team Eager if they all try and rush through a single choke point. So it's going to be interesting to watch the itemization coming through on them to see if they go into utility before damage, potentially. Eager, first pick Maldamba, worked out very well for them last game. Probably not wanting to deal with the Ying, especially in the face of the area damage, which they know Kanga's going to bring, but Grok as well.
This is a really interesting start of a draft for Eager. It really challenges Kanga to say, I want you to establish what your damage and your front line is going to be, and we're going to react to it by taking two of the most influential characters when it comes to point break, and also having your team healed up. Maldamba able to do, again, two sources of healing is really clutch when it comes to keeping your whole team alive, but on top of that, Shock Pulse is so dangerous from Grok right now, and it's a very big priority for Eager.
It's team fight turning ultimates too is what I'm noticing. If this does go 3-3, you're going to have to be relying on those to a degree to be able to hold down that objective and zone out your enemies. And, well, no better ultimate to do that than Dread Serpent. Kanga Esports respond. They have their frontline and damage online. It's going to be Barak and Charlene. Eager looking for a Tyra. I like Firebomb's potential on this map.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a Torvald as well. This is what Eager really looks to do, is to get a Torvald Tyra together, and they're able to find that with two really good supports. Now they can react. They can either go for another frontline and go for a point hold, or they can find another damage dealer. That being said, I know for a fact that Kanga's looking at this and saying, this map is likely going to go 3-3. We need to make sure we're setting ourselves up with really good point win ultimates. They have that already. They have King Bomb, they have Dome Shield, they have Heat Haze, and now putting on top of that Makoa. This is a good draft really for, I'm going to say for Kanga especially, because this is the play style that they want. This is a match made in heaven for Kanga. But that being said, Team Eager finally gets their Tyra Torvald combination, and they have a flex pick here. This is interesting.
So I'm guessing maybe we're going to see a Trogos here for the area damage, or because we do have deployable Nightmare for Kanga, or potentially a Pip. It's going to be the, the Dragon Punch to Makoa, and the Fire Spit damage for the area clear, and the Salvo for the area clear, or the Evil Mojo. One of those could be a game changer for Team Eager, but instead, that's a pick we haven't seen in quite some time. The Godslayer returns to the realm. Team Eager, trusting what they know and what they're comfortable in, and actually, close-knit, tight corners, close quarters, less room for the fall-off there for Stolzy's Androxus. It's a good look.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, Stolzy's probably the one member of the team we have yet to talk about all that much. He hasn't made a lot of noise in the first 3 games, and this, if he's going to, it's going to be here on Androxus, one of his biggest pocket picks. One of the reasons why his name got so big so quickly was because he was able to excel at this champion faster than most. This is a really interesting draft. I think a lot of this is going to come down to what does Androxus find as far as securing kills. That's going to be his role here, is to secure kills, because Tyra's able to do it, but it's not for sure. And the same thing, there's a lot of chip damage from Grok, a lot of chip damage from Torvald on the front line. Where on the flip side for Kanga, there's a lot of burst damage coming out from a number of characters, Bomb King, Shaolin, of course, but on top of that, Makoa, with even his natural percentage buff after hitting a Dredge Anchor into an auto attack, is absolutely massive in chucking up health.
Yeah, if they pick up Pluck, it's going to do so much damage. And again, I'm not sure if they're going to elect to go into half shell. We didn't see that in the face of Torvald in the previous round. May happen again. That lock-off is very useful, and especially when you're dealing with a Barak as well, having 2 deployable shields, which you can just use to block off whole areas. Very, very useful. Still, likely going to see Torvald with Field Study there, just boosting the carries, making them strong. Androxus, though, we've got a few different choices. We don't often see Androxus right now. We've got Heads Will Roll for increased headshot damage. We've got Darkstalker, and we've got Godslayer. Which one are you feeling here?
I think it's really going to come down to, does Stolzy feel comfortable with how the rest of his team can set up? Because if he does, I anticipate seeing him running with the Darkstalker just to have that mobility and to essentially go out and be free. if it turns into a situation where they feel like they're going to be receiving a lot of damage, taking the 800 damage off of reversal from having Godslayer and then add on whatever damage he takes in can absolutely turn the tide of a fight, no matter who he hits with the reversal. So
well, there is a Bomb King and there is a Shaolin, so
yeah.
if he catches a single one of those shots, it's about 1,500 damage return. That's going to be very, very important there. And if he takes a couple, then he could potentially have one shot potential onto a single squishy target. And again, it's interesting. We know that Stolze used to love the power of the Abyss, Nether Step cooldown reset from hitting your successful reversal onto somebody, onto anybody on Androxus, and comboing that with Godslayer, you're guaranteed a cooldown reset as long as you can hit a shield, and there are 2 shields on Kanga Esports. I feel like in this situation, Darkstalker's increased mobility, he can gain that from other options here. But then again, he does hit a lot of headshots. That could actually be a tide turner as well. 2 shots on the Ying and she's out.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think this really comes down to, there's going to have to be a lot of good awareness from Torvald to know who to shield at what time. Because as soon as that cooldown hits, that keeps your team very vulnerable for a long time, especially if you don't hit the correct target. So
interesting question for you real quick. Field study and reversal interacts?
I don't know. We did test it.
That could be a lot of damage. Regardless, though, the game is starting. Let's check out the team on the left. It will be Kanga Esports led by Pluck Makoa for Josh Ken. Joel's on Shaolin with a recurve there as the legendary. Hates on Barak with Fortify. Chronix on Ying with a lifelike here, double healing, and Diggy Dog's Bomb King with Accelerant still.
Yeah, and for Eager, looking to pull this one back to 2-2 would be Shady Shades on Grok with Maelstrom. Aldamba played by Arai with Spirits Chosen. Wi-Fi will be taking the field study on Torvald. Bitey with First Blood on Tyra, and Stolze will be taking Godslayer.
And speaking of First Blood goes through potentially to Bitey there. No to Stolze as they take out Josh Ken. Wi-Fi cleans up Diggy Dog, and Stolze is still looking to frag 3 low health members. Stolze picks up Chronix, looks for the Godslayer reversal, the double kill onto Joels, looking for the triple kill, finds the flick, Hates goes down, the Godslayer's back, baby. Stolze is in business.
He's so good. My God. I mean, the ability not only to hit those shots, but to understand that his frontliner had to back up and put himself on the front line by taking reversal, not only kept his team alive, but he also was able to convert because no one really saw Stolze whatsoever around that corner.
84% and climbing for the side of Team Eager. No sign of conversion. Bitey's Firebomb cleans up there, looking for even more damage versus this Barak now. First Blood actually keeping Tyra in the mix for a lot longer than expected, and the capture goes through to Team Eager. 1-0. They've got a long payload push ahead of them, but if they keep up this snowball, it's going to be devastating.
This is a bad spot for Hades. You can see he's scrambling right now against this Grok, and Grok is totally okay by pushing this, chipping down health and falling. He's okay with it because, why? They still have a Meldama to keep the team alive if they want to get this payload push moving. So this is really big, and that's a really smart play, really, to be completely honest, from the Grok.
And so far, again, this is going to be the big point on for Team Eager when they're trying to break through Kanga's defense. A lot of stacking potential for Kanga. You got Firebomb to break it all up, forcing players out initially is good from Bitey, but then again, the sticky bomb traps being set up by Diggy Dog. Hold that thought, that's a crossfire. That's going to be Grok using Tempest to force it all through, keeping everybody alive as well as a protective bubble. Nice peel coming through for Kanga Esports. Josh Kent finds Stolze. It was a good engagement, but it isn't going as planned for the team in red.
I don't know if it was so much a good engagement, but a good sustain of the engagement. It was really tough to kind of keep that going as the crossfire, you saw Bitey was dropped very, very quickly, and they had to force the Tempest. So it was actually a lot of ultimates expended for nothing besides the team wipe at the end of it.
I can't argue that it would have been better if Tempest wasn't expended then and then maybe used to follow up afterwards. But that initial poke, that sticky bomb trap from Bomb King that was walked into to deliver all that poke, it's a little bit of cheeky play from Kanga, something which we're going to have to see Team Eager aware of. They have Shock Pulse to clear it up if necessary, though, and that might be what we're needing to see.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting use of the right click to use that on anything that's deployable, really. The Firebomb will also help clean it up, but you can see Diggy Dog able to just proc that as someone comes around the corner, finds himself an instant kill, and this is why Ice Mines is so difficult. It's just so hard to get this payload moving and to keep it moving for the whole duration of it. We're already down to 40 seconds left until overtime, and this payload has barely even left the center part of the map.
And again, the pull comes through from Makoa, doesn't find the sticky bomb trap though, so Stolze cleans up Josh Kent. 30 seconds left on the push, and Eager are starting to get some momentum here. But again, they walk around the corner into direct line of sight. The area damage coming from this Bomb King is unimaginably strong. Stolze looks for the cleanup though onto Joels, but Ying is keeping everybody alive. Illusory Rift. Did I hear that audio cue?
You did not. It still looks like it's procced. I thought I heard it too, and I had to check.
Dimensional link, I think.
It must have been a dimensional link. So as it is a lot of kill streaks again for Kanga, able to keep themselves sustained in this defense and keep themselves alive. And again, Joel's with this planet has been chewing through just about everybody. Torvald Torvald again has to use recharge in the face of that planted, plus the Bomb King. Digigog with the double kill. Easy defense so far. And again, this is going to be the storyline we see throughout probably what is going to be the next 15 minutes.
And so itemization coming through in round number 2, 1-to-1 on the scoreboard at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's take a look at what we're seeing. And as far as Kanga goes, well, it's Master Ride and Makoa. That's pretty much expected at this point, but only one Cauterized 2 online so far, with Chronix electing to go instead into a Kronos here. Has the credits available for Cauterized 2. Hasn't picked it up yet. I do expect that to be taken before we do exit the game or exit the base. But Team Eager, again, they're going into this resilience. They rely on this a lot, but it seems to work out in the face of the amount of crowd control Kanga has.
It's pretty necessary, to be completely honest. And if you do take resilience, it gives you a chance to avoid the pluck damage from Makoa. After a certain point, you're able to use your abilities quicker because that trigger is just too slow for Makoa to get the pull and the auto attack. But that being said, the master riding is key here. And it's interesting, Josh Kent does not opt to go straight for point.
Oh no, he's trying to set up the trap, but again, the reversal goes out from Stolzy, doesn't find any damage. Stolzy not sitting on another step cooldown, has to be careful here. Will be charging into the mix, trying to take the high ground. There's going to be the accursed arm, doesn't find any kills, but straight into the mix comes the King Bomb. Crossfire from Tyra to just a zone, and this is a brawl on the objective with no kills found either way. Will this be enough? Tempest was activated there, the cooldown was burned, but Kanga come out on top despite the Dread Serpent too.
That's not what I expected whatsoever. The Dread Serpent was in a good spot, but everything as far as damage when it came to Kanga was all on the outside of all of that whole inner area where this whole lodge is, and that was really the key as far as Kanga able to convert the damage. Eager not. The Torvald falling early on in that fight is really, really big when it comes down to it. Again, this is really interesting dynamic play, and this is just good communication between both, knowing that, hey, I'm looking for a hook. All right, here's your trap, and that's an instant kill every time.
Every single time. Here it goes. Torvald goes in, but a Hyper Beam is ready and waiting. Shell Spin will save Makoa though, but still we see Shady Shades take out Chronix. Recharge on the barricade too is going to keep Torvald in the mix for a second longer, but it just doesn't stop the onslaught of damage coming through. 87% for Kanga. Team Eager are dropping like flies. Do they have the sustain to keep themselves in this fight? No. Digidog goes immortal. 11 kill streak, finds a double kill here. Sprays for good measure. It's all about Kanga here, and he is going nuts on this champion.
To be honest though, they can't stop. They have to keep going. If you are Kanga, you have to get up here, find yourself another pick. If you get stalled out, this is one of the hardest spots to get past, is this initial turn. If you can get through here, you're essentially guaranteed to control the high ground on the right side and move further down the snake path as the payload continues to move. But again, Eager is being zoned out by Shaolin, who we just heard use the planet, able to poke everybody around. And with 2 minutes left, this payload is moving very nicely.
It's Shaolin and Bomb King. It's Makoa and Bomb King. Bomb King just combo as well. They've got so much follow-up damage on a stun or on a CC that it's just really difficult for Eager to deal with, and the push just keeps on continuing. You can see Diggy able to poke out round corners, goes onto the high ground, has King Bomb available again, and continues to poke and continues to put out pressure. Could be using the high ground here, but it's not going to be. But godlike goes Digidog there. 13 streak, finds a double kill around the corner. Are we going to see an annihilation? One more to do it, and that's a pretty big win in itself.
That would have been a really good time to use ultimates, I think, as well, considering that Kanga has 4 up and Eager just has the crossfire at the moment. If they were able to push this and make this 3-1, that's a really good spot for Kanga. I would be okay seeing ultimates being used here, but they don't even need to. No one was contesting the point, Fox. I completely lost it. I thought Grok was there, and Eager.
Well, Grok was there, but they walked away for a second. Maldamba and didn't have Slither to be able to contest or be able to close the gap, and as you said, Kanga, it's now 3-1. They're sitting pretty, and they're sitting on a win potential, not just for this game, but for this set. 2-1 so far in the set score. Itemization comes through again. Team Eager, they need some counter ability online, and what have they got so far?
I mean, the problem is they just don't have as much invested as Kanga does. I mean, we see 20 streaks, 22 streak, 10 streak. It results in extra itemization for them. So double master riding, Shady Shades only has a single. The resilience is getting there, but again, it's just level 2s and level 1s.
And we're still not even seeing Cauterized 3 against a Ying as well with Lifelike, who, while she doesn't have great single target healing with that 30% reduction, it's good for all of the different targets on Kanga Esports, and now they're pushing through to the point again.
And this is going to be really key for Kanga. Can they find themselves an early pull? And they do, but able to use Ghostwalk is Grok to get away from it, but still, Digidog is right here, just funneling in Sticky Bomb after Sticky Bomb and finding a lot of damage. Jols does find the first cut on Stolzy. Josh Kent able to secure one on Shady Shades. Crossfire you hear right around the corner. Will it be enough to get this kill on Digidog? It is with the help of Wi-Fi, but still, the point is in control of Kanga, and Torvald also falls, so Kanga in very much so control at this point. point.
And it was remarkable. You can see exactly what Bidy's going for with that crossfire with First Blood Tyra, just keeping the life, allowing the lifesteal to keep you in the fight, but it's just not enough. Stolzy uses the accursed arm out of desperation to open things up here. Reversal comes through, but it's 93, 96, 99. That's going to be victory. Kanga Esports, they take game number 4 on Ice Mines and close out match number 2 of this Group A stage.
This is a map to look out for when it comes to Kanga. They are totally fine with saying, hey, if you guys don't want to play it, we'll learn it. We'll play